Carl and Brendan here from Brrraains A Head-Banging Life. It's track by track time, and we are looking at a classic. Absolute classic released in 1970. It is Black Sabbath's Paranoid, the second studio album from the English rock band. It contains several of the band's signature songs. I mean, songs you know, even if you don't love Black Sabbath: Iron Man, War Pigs, and of course the title track, which was the band's only top 20 hit, reaching number 4 in the UK charts. It is often cited as an influential album in the early development of the heavy metal genre, and was the band's only album to top the UK album charts until the release of 13 in 2013. So let's get this out of the way at the start. Most of these songs I've heard hundreds of times over the years. So there is that kind of air of saturation when it comes to them. So what I've tried to do is not let that fact, I've been hearing these tracks like Paranoid most of my life in some context or another. I've tried to not let that cloud it, Yeah. Difficult, but, do the best you can, right?
Yeah. Absolutely.
We begin with War Pigs. So, I mean, we begin with such a class level of drawling doominess that immediately gets you excited for what is to come. The way in which the air raid siren comes in, it's really dark and threatening, and then it really begins. It's hard not to sing along with Ozzy as he starts, and oh Lord, yeah, is killer stuff, especially with that riff and drum combo. It fully develops, and the extra step of energy is class. It's a classic Sabbath song for good reason.
I agree. I love it.
Yeah.
It's an amazing song and an amazing album opener. And I've done the same as you. I've tried to picture what it would be like to hear this the first time. I just imagine going out and picking up this on record or cassette or whatever it was, and the very first time you play War Pigs. Yeah, it's fucking phenomenal. Yeah. I mean, it's probably long been my favorite Sabbath song anyway. So, yeah, I love everything about it. I mean, for me, the real win on it, obviously, aside from the mad riffs and drums and that, is really the kind of chaotic, crazy solo. To this kind of like it's a war zone sort of solo that goes off in all directions. But then, just as it feels like chaos has gone too far and it's never going to get back its groove, it then just brings it back into that main riff again. It's brilliant. And you can clearly see why metal, like why this might have been categorized as this new genre of heavy metal. If a band came out and released War Pigs today, it would instantly be classed as some form of doom metal.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Well, yeah, it's kind of lumped in that sort of area nowadays.
Yeah.
Which brings us to Paranoid. And as we would have said, like, trying real hard to separate the overplayed nature of this track and the overall quality of it. Yeah, I've heard it way too much, but I still think it's a brilliant listen. I love the echo on Ozzy's vocals. And you mentioned Tony's work there. For me, Tony, I really try to isolate the guitars for once, because you get so used to hearing Ozzy sing, you focus on it. And I think he's doing the Lord's work on guitar here. What I would love, what I kept thinking during this, man, I would love to wipe my memory of this track and have that first ever listen again. Do you know, that would be so awesome.
Yeah, I'm pretty much the same on this as well. Obviously these days, I probably would avoid it.
Yep.
But you can't deny its quality. And even while listening to it, even though my mind's saying, press skip, you're listening to it and you can't help but enjoy it.
Yeah.
It's great. It's got an amazing riff, great pace to it as well. It's nice and energetic, especially coming off the back of War Pigs, which is that slower sort of thump. The vocals are fantastic. It's still, even to this day, a good song. Just forget it sometimes.
Absolutely. One I never forget, though, is next. Planet Caravan, a personal favorite Sabbath track for me overall. And I love the fact that we get something quite different here, some serious psychedelic about it. It's mellow, it's chill. I love it. It's perfect. It's one of those tracks where I wouldn't change a single thing about.
Yeah, I agree. I did write down, it's kind of weird that probably in my lifetime I've listened to the Pantera cover of this more times than I have the Black Sabbath version of it.
It's funny, when I think of Planet Caravan, the Pantera version always comes to mind as well.
Yeah, strange, isn't it? But it's such an amazing song. It's like the epitome of mellow. It's really pleasing to listen to. It's kind of strange in that that's the sensation I get from it. I feel pleased.
Yeah.
I did write down, I imagine it was then and still is very popular to get baked to.
Yeah, man.
I don't think it's the sort of song that I would normally put on, on my way to work or like, if you're looking for a lift or something like that. But it does. Yeah, it just loses quality. It's just a very, very chilled out piece of music, man.
Pours down in peace, light of the night.
Get used to hearing these words, because to be honest, there isn't really a negative thing to be said about this album. As we then go into Iron Man. One of my favorite things about this track is how the guitar rhythm and the vocals work in tandem together. If one is rising, so is the other, and vice versa. I have no idea. I spent a long time period trying to work out who was controlling the tempo. Was it the guitar? Was it the vocals? But I still couldn't work it out. And it makes for a super exciting listen. It still is an incredible listen.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, you know, obviously it's a classic song, but I did point out as well, like, you know, again, going back to that idea of buying this album for the first time, you're on track 4, and what a start to an album.
Oh, man.
Can you imagine that? War Pigs, Paranoid, Planet Caravan, and Iron Man. You just be like, this is fucking the best bit of music that's ever been written.
Yeah.
And, you know, I love it. I love the riff, obviously. I know I also pointed out, I love how the vocals track the riff and the verses. I kind of took the assumption that it was the guitars leading, but you're right, that they just seem to just work in tandem.
Yeah.
Guitars are mesmerizing, drums are brilliant. It just has everything. Solo instrument is cool, and then you get even more payoff at the end with the kind of mad drum and bass rhythm and intense soloing that just brings you through. So yeah, it's an amazing piece of music, man.
Oh god, I never thought we'd be sitting here waxing lyrical about how brilliant Black Sabbath are.
Yeah,
it's so weird for us. And we continue. It's Electric Funeral, super doomy. This is as infectious as it gets in regards to a bit of fuzz. Super filthy sounding. Ozzy adds some lightness with his vocal style, but even still, the focus predominantly on that fucking riff. Then as we near the halfway mark, the drums welcome in a tempo shift that switches the pace up completely, and we get things going very wild. I love it.
Yeah, so do I. Again, like you said, slower, doomy song. I did write then in brackets, that's okay though.
Yeah.
like because I said the word doom, that means I'm gonna hate it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I really like it a lot. I did. The only thing I wasn't, there is one little moment in this where I wasn't really over the moon with it, and that is after it kind of picks up and goes into the squealing guitars and speedy drums. Ozzy's vocals in that section, I thought just were a bit kind of like battling the music rather than working with it, whereas all the way up to here, it kind of bedded in with the riff and gone with the riff. So that was just like it was a split second. Do you know what I mean? It's like 5 seconds, and then all of a sudden it's just back to being brilliant.
Still, you pick something out like that.
Yeah, it's just like it's not even that you look for it. Do you know what I mean? It'll just be, you might be doing something else, and then you go, oh, hang on, what was that? I'll just go back to that. Oh yeah, that's a bit odd. Anyway, carry on. This is amazing.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Hand of Doom, one of 2 tracks on this album that I'm actually less familiar with. The mellow start is very psychedelic, and then everything kicks up a notch, and we've got that classic Sabbath kind of beat. Back down to chill style, back up again, each time in a different way, which I thought was really fucking cool. It's a track that really keeps you on your toes. And I also think it's really nice because it's not rare, but not as noticeable until here, that the drums get a very dominant showcase here on this track.
Yeah, pretty much word for word again, to be honest. I love the sort of switches in tempo and volume, you know, the slow down, then the jump up. The riff is amazing, proper headbanger riff, and the drums throughout are just exceptional. It is a very long song, though. It's the only thing I did say that, you know, no negative really, but it was very, very long, and I did find myself losing focus over the duration of it.
Okay.
So I guess I could say, you know, if I wanted to be critical, that it didn't hold my attention throughout. But that's really picking holes, to be honest with you, because you know, I ended with saying this is quality. You know.
Rat Salad, a palate cleanser, as this is a very short instrumental that has a jam session feel about it, hyper back and forth between the instruments, Tony showing off in the guitar to a degree. To me, it's fine because it's so short. It doesn't come across self-serving. Had it been like 5 or 6 minutes, I'd have been like, all right, guys, rein it in. But it's less than 3.
Yeah. I think we're going to pretty much we could have just read one of ours out and then been the same all the way through. So, you know, it is exactly what you said. It's got some cool guitars, melodies, riffing, drum solo. Probably goes on a few seconds too long, but it's still impressive. It's just a little moment for the musicians to show off a little bit, and it's fine, and it breaks the album up a little bit as well. So
Yeah, because I doubt we're going to have different opinions on the finale. It is, of course, Fairies Wear Boots. It's one of my favorite Sabbath tracks ever. I'm a massive fan of the bass here. Proper hums, and it's less doom heavy focused. Of course, the guitar work also can't be ignored, and some classy riffing going on here, as well as a super strong solo. It's a track that never bores me, and the tone shifts always bring something new and fresh to the table. By the end, I'm just so satisfied, so pleased.
Yeah, I like it. I really like the fact that the intro of it kind of carries on from Rat Salad, so it almost then looks like an extended intro
Yeah,
to the track to a degree. I love the kind of guitars and drums taking turns at showing off their skills at the beginning. I think that's fucking fantastic. Then it settles nicely into the rhythm. The solo, like you said, is absolutely brilliant. Love the solo in this. Riffs are intense, the drums are great, the vocals are fucking phenomenal. Because I guess it's one of the weird things so far, you know, as much as the guitars and everything are brilliant, I haven't really said much about the vocals, and Ozzy sounds fucking brilliant. Absolutely phenomenal. And yeah, it's just a fantastic track. It really is a brilliant song. It's a brilliant closer for an album as well. I think it's well positioned. I think it suits better at the end of the album than it might have done halfway through or something. And then, yeah, I just ended with saying then what an album it is.
Yeah, I echo that completely. It's one of the rare track by tracks where we literally agree on every single track.
So we can't be lynched.
Yes. In the comment section, I'm sure you'll find something negative to say anyway, but go nuts. Top 3 tracks then.
Oh, dude. Fairies Wear Boots, War Pigs, and Iron Man for me.
Oh, okay, we are actually quite different on this. I've gone for Planet Caravan, Electric Funeral, and Fairies Wear Boots. There you go. Would love to know if you've got anything negative to say about Black Sabbath's Paranoid. I doubt it very much, but hell, give us a go in the comment section. Thank you very much for watching. You can check us out on gbhbl.com as well as on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and Tumblr. Go to Patreon to help us out over there. That's patreon.com/gbhbl, as well as Big Cartel, where you can find some of our merchandise. We have a podcast running on SoundCloud and Apple Podcasts. And of course, if you like this video, do us a favor, hit the subscribe button and help the channel grow. Games, horror, and heavy metal. What else is life for?